Dorks, it is the Turtle Dork here with a new movie review for you today. So this is one that I've been waiting to talk about, been waiting to watch. It is Six Underground. This is the new film from Michael Bay. Yes, this is the new film. It's on Netflix right now. You can go ahead and watch it. It has a pretty good cast. It stars Ryan Reynolds, Ben Hardy, Dave Franco, Corey Hawkins, Adria Arjona, who I'm not familiar with, but in the trailer she reminded me of Isa Gonzalez. I thought that was her in the beginning, but it's not her. And Melanie Laurent, who's a French actress who I believe we saw as Shoshana in Inglourious Bastards. And basically the plot is Ryan Reynolds plays this tech billionaire who fakes his own death. He recruits these other members to join him to kind of form this elite task squad to take down these dictators in these third world countries. This one focuses on a dictator in Turkestan who's unleashing like these gas attacks on his people. So they're trying to take him down. And really that's just kind of the setup for what we get, a string of these crazy action sequences. The movie kind of kicks off in Florence, Italy with this insane car chase that we've seen in the trailers a lot, and the movie starts off with that. So if you are a Michael Bay fan, if you like his brand of action, then this movie will grab you within the first 5 minutes. And really, that's kind of what I want to talk about is Michael Bay and just his brand of action and how stylish he is. Yeah, you're not going to get deep storytelling, even though they do try to bring some emotionality into this, especially with Corey Hawkins' character Seven. That's another interesting thing too. You don't really get to know these characters' names. They're referred to by their numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Whether that's a spoiler alert or not, don't really think you could spoil a movie like this. But yeah, Corey Hawkins kind of plays like the straight edge guy. He's like on the straight and narrow and kind of plays that alongside Ryan Reynolds, who is kind of being Ryan Reynolds. He's kind of being a little bit meta, being a little bit quippy, and you kind of want that from him, especially with this movie being written by the guys who also wrote Deadpool and Zombieland. So he's kind of reuniting with them, and you kind of have like that Deadpool style commentary, that type of humor that you get in this movie. But yeah, I thought Corey Hawkins was really strong in this movie. But yeah, going back to Michael Bay and just what he brings to his style, I mean, I would say this movie is harkening back to Michael Bay from early in his career. Probably I would say this is Bad Boys 2 Michael Bay, which is a great thing because I love Bad Boys 2, and it feels like this is him going back to that pure action, those roots from those movies that he had early in his career. This movie is a hard R. He definitely goes for it. This might be the most brutal movie that Michael Bay has ever done. It's kind of grotesquely violent, and you know that within like the first 20 minutes. And that's the great thing about this movie, that if you're on board in the first 20 minutes, then you'll enjoy the rest of the ride. If you're not, which I can see some people wouldn't be, because depending on what you like and what you don't like, the first 20 minutes of this movie can be a bit exhausting. And if you feel yourself getting exhausted by his style, his shots, his editing, then the rest of the movie may not be for you. But going to some of the things that really just kind of bother me about the movie, and it's things that I've always had issues with when it comes to Michael Bay, is his humor. Now he's done this in the Transformers movies, where he does a lot of this stereotypical humor when he portrays certain groups or certain ethnicities in a certain way by kind of trying to perpetuate certain stereotypes for humor, and he does that in this movie, which really just doesn't sit well with me, and it comes off a bit tone deaf and a bit outdated. And that's one thing that has always bothered me in general about Michael Bay, is just his brand of humor, and just how he doesn't really feel like he's kind of updating himself, especially as times are changing. He just still it almost feels like he's stuck in this time capsule, specifically when it comes to that with his humor. It's like, all right, man, this guy. And you would think bringing in different writers would maybe kind of put restraints on him when it comes to something like that, but no. It seems like when he's on set, he's kind of coming up with the movie himself. You know, even though somebody will actually write a script, he will kind of just use that as an outline. And when he's on set on the day, he's just throwing everything at the wall and just seeing what sticks. And for good or for bad, it seems like a lot of stuff stuck. But again, I can't really fault him for that, because like I said, for better or for worse, Michael Bay has a particular style, and he's good at what he does. I love his action sequences and the way that he shoots coverage. Man, these scenes are so crazy. I couldn't even imagine the type of coverage that he would have to shoot. You would think that this movie, they shot this for like 6 months. I mean, it's crazy how much the type of coverage. I couldn't imagine being in the edit bay with Michael Bay trying to put this movie together. And that goes to another criticism I kind of had about the movie, was a little bit of the editing. I thought some of the editing was a bit choppy. Some of the needle drops, the way he used music, it just feels kind of it just feels kind of schizophrenic. It's just kind of all over the place. It feels like a child on ADD. It's just like it almost feels like it's hard for him to kind of focus in on something. And I kind of felt that a little bit in the beginning of the film, with some of the editing and the quick edits that you get in the movie. The movie kind of does find its pacing once you kind of get along with, once you kind of get further into the movie. But yeah, like I said, those that first 20 minutes, it just goes. But then you have a crazy action sequence at the end of the film, when they're on this yacht, where he uses the yacht as a magnet, which is insane. There's another one in Hong Kong where they're at the top of this penthouse, which is another crazy, insane action sequence. So, like I said, when he's in his wheelhouse and he's able to kind of do his style of action, which I think nobody in the industry is shooting action the way Michael Bay does. And that's one thing that I appreciate and I really like about him. The other stuff that he puts into his movies and the way he tells his stories and the brand of humor that he uses, some of that stuff doesn't really sit well with me. But if you're looking for entertaining cinema, but it's true, if you're looking for the entertaining film, I mean, you can't ask for anything more than what he gives you with this. At least for me, it is entertaining. Like I said, I would consider myself maybe a Michael Bay apologist. Just like with any filmmaker, he has good and bad movies. I like a lot of stuff in the early of his career. Of course, the bad boy movies I love. Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, nah. I'm a huge fan of The Island. I know a lot of people are really critical of that movie, but I like The Island. Pain and Gain, not really a fan of. I know my fellow dork, Mouth Dork, loves that movie. Maybe he can bring me over to his side. Maybe not. But yeah, and then 13 Hours, the Transformers movies, get them out of here. I like the first one, but the sequels are trash. But yeah, so just like with any filmmaker, he has hits and misses. But I enjoy a lot of what he brings. I like his brand of action. I don't think anybody shoots movies like he does. And he has gone back to doing that style with Six Underground, which I really, really appreciated. And low-key kind of really loved this movie to a degree. Outside of like some major issues I have, I kind of knew what I was getting into going into this. So I wouldn't say I had measured expectations or lowered expectations, but when you watch the trailer, you know what you're getting. And so I just kind of, you know, gave myself over to that, and I found myself really having a lot of fun with the film. So yeah, those are my thoughts about Six Underground. Let me know what you thought of the film in the comments below. Remember to rate, like, subscribe, and share, and go ahead and check out my other dorks at MouthDork, at the Disco Dork, at WB Dash, and at Sidewalk Siren. As for me, I am the Turtle Dork, and with that, your boy is out.